as we decode what really happened to the Congress and their Haryana game plan, because they thought that this was something that they're definitely going to win, so much so that early in the morning they were expressing 100% confidence that the BJP wouldn't even get 20 seats. And then look how it completely turned around. Let's take some names here of who really is to blame for the Congress's terrible performance in Haryana. The first one, man on your screens here, is Bhupinder Singh Hooda, who's been essentially the headline maker for the Congress, was given full power by the High Command. He played big brother in ticket distribution. And what we mean by that is of the 90 seats, nearly 70 of them were all of his loyalists, his pick. And the Congress gave him a free hand to do that as well. So essentially, he bulldozed over all other leaders' opinions in the state unit. Put all eggs in the Jat basket. Essentially said that, look, the Jat belt is something that we will focus on. But what about the other belts? What about the other communities? There was no effort to really reach out to them. So there was no plan B in place whatsoever. Allowed personal rivalry to trump party interest. That's perhaps what Rahul Gandhi also was referring to. The fact that the entire issue was about whether I have a problem with this leader or that, not about who really can win on a party ticket. And you'll see this point coming up fairly often with several other leaders too. Then there was the issue of Congress rebels, and there were several of them during the ticket distribution. There was no effort made by the Hoodas to actually reach out to them. And that proved to be costly for the Congress as well. The campaign in Haryana was all about the Hoodas. Their face was on the ticket. Their face was, in fact, being projected as that of the Congress. Local issues weren't raised, issues that matter to the people. None of that was spoken about. It was all about Hooda being the headline grabber for the Congress in Haryana. He also underestimated the impact of independents. Many of these independents were fielded by the BJP to essentially hit the Congress's vote bank. And it worked as a strategy because Hooda, despite being a seasoned veteran politician, didn't see this really having an impact, didn't read through that particular strategy. And then, of course, failed to accommodate alliance partners. Preeti earlier explained to you how the Aam Aadmi Party could have played a big role in really helping Congress consolidate in some of those seats. But remember that the Congress Haryana unit was against the alliance, particularly Bhupinder Singh Hooda. Let's get to the other names. There's KC Venugopal, General Secretary Organization for the Congress. He was someone who was also handling the Haryana campaign actively. Ignored all voices of the state unit on candidate selection, went with one opinion, that of Bhupinder Singh Hooda. And that's proved to be costly because you've got so many big heavyweights in the Haryana unit of the Congress. None of their opinions were actually sought. They went single-mindedly with what Hooda said. And that was because of KC Venugopal's advice, perhaps, to the High Command. He was accused of also backing his loyalists for tickets, something that the BJP has taken forward now, and even alleged casting couch, saying that whoever was friendly with KC Venugopal was getting tickets and they've all lost. Now, remember that he was someone who's advised the Gandhis actively in many elections, including this one in Haryana. And he reportedly advised the Gandhis against the alliance with the Aam Aadmi Party, against the alliance with the Samajwadi Party. There has been a lot of talk that that too has proved costly for the Congress. Not a game changer, but definitely would have helped them consolidate in some of the seats. And essentially, like we mentioned in the first point, he made Hooda all-powerful in calling the shots in Haryana. Was there factionalism? Yes. Was there a rift? Yes. Were candidates unhappy? Were there rebels? 100%. All of that pushed aside, KC Venugopal made it clear to the High Command that he will give all power to Bhupinder Singh Hooda despite the evident cracks. Let's talk about the third leader who people will put the blame on again for what's happened in Haryana. And that is Kumari Shelja. She publicly vented her ire against the Hoodas. Again, everyone knew about what was playing out in the Congress Haryana unit, about the fact that there was no love lost between Kumari Shelja and the Hoodas. And that was evident in the campaign too. They didn't hold back. So a similar point as Hooda, which is that she allowed personal rivalry to trump party interest. At no point did Kumari Shelja and Hooda say, look, we'll sit down, we'll discuss our differences to ensure that the party wins. That didn't happen. Personal rivalry took over. And she hardly campaigned for the Congress. Remember that she is the biggest Dalit face for the Congress in Haryana. And she hardly barely campaigned because she was miffed over the fact that she wasn't allowed to go ahead and field all of her loyalists. And therefore, she also played into BJP's anti-Dalit narrative. How? She constantly voiced her frustration publicly, didn't hold back from criticizing the Congress, didn't hold back over the fact that she wasn't given a ticket. And so by voicing her frustration, she handed it over on a platter to the BJP, which constantly kept saying that, look, Dalits are being insulted by the Congress. One more name in this list, that of Randeep Surjewala. He limited himself to campaigning only in his son's constituency, didn't focus on the whole Haryana picture. Essentially, the messaging was that, look, I want my son to win and nothing more. He also fueled the Haryana Congress factionalism, much like Kumari Shelja, much like Hooda as well. He was very vocal about really the issues and differences that he has and the fact that he doesn't see eye to eye with several Haryana Congress leaders within his own party. And much like Hooda, much like Kumari Shelja, allowed personal rivalry to trump party interest. And perhaps it's this point that's proven to be the most and the biggest weakness for the Congress, something that Rahul Gandhi is also referred to. Let me bring in Rahul Gautam on this broadcast. Rahul, one question everyone's asking right now, and you track the Congress for us. You've been also tracking what happened in that introspection beat. A lot of questions being asked on KC Venugopal, on whether his loyalists were given tickets, on whether he read the ground situation wrong, and whether he gave wrong advice to the High Command. Is there going to be any action against KC Venugopal, Rahul?
Akshita, I myself spoke with one of the leaders who was present in this important meeting that was held at Congress residence, and I asked a specific question that Congress party has been saying that action will be taken when Congress lost in Madhya Pradesh, in Chhattisgarh, in Rajasthan. We all know that how infighting played a very important role as far as Congress debacles in these three primarily states are concerned, and whether this time some accountability will be fixed, as far as these leaders are concerned. So, but we've been informed from our sources that party this time is all set to take action. In fact, they are taking feedbacks from the senior observers like Ashok Gehlot, Ajay Makan, and the other secretaries that were attached, in that particular state. Apart from this, the AICC observers that were appointed in various Lok Sabha seats, they are taking feedback from these people. And then post Dussehra, this is what we're learning from our sources, post Dussehra, action will be taken against those leaders who said to have damaged the electoral prospects of the Grand Old Party. As far as KC Venugopal is concerned, you rightly pointed out that buck stops at his office. He is the General Secretary of the organization, and you can say that he is a very important part of the information mechanism as far as Rahul Gandhi and the top leadership is concerned. And as we can see,
he's very close to Rahul Gandhi, which is why there's a big question mark on whether they'll actually crack the whip on KC Venugopal and his clear failures in reading the situation on ground and giving the right advice to the top brass and taking strategic, important decisions in Haryana. And that perhaps is what led to this drubbing that the Congress suffered in Haryana. Thanks very much, Rahul, for joining us with those details. We've given you a roundup, a view of what's really happened post the Haryana election results.